Welcome to Boss versus Coach. Firstly, thank you all for your support, your encouragement, your motivation, and your active participation in building this community. The community is growing and we are becoming large. Website has been released last month. The website is live. Please do visit www.bossversuscoach.com and be a part of our community. And there's a very special announcement, and that is the book is out. The book is now available on Amazon and Kindle. I have got mine copy. Please go and grab yours and see how this book can change your leadership journey. So on that note, I would like to talk about a relevant question that has come to us from one of our friends and colleagues who is a part of the Boss versus Coach community. And the question is all about why leaders don't feel comfortable saying no. Olivia, very relevant topic. We have been hearing this for long that people don't say no. What's the fear that holds them back, and how is that impacting the teams below?
Well, it's an interesting one because I think, when you start in your career, you kind of say yes to everybody. But I wonder if those people recognize that all the way up through leadership to quite senior positions, people don't want to say no. And so it's really relevant to leaders as well as to the teams as to how do you actually just voice your authentic viewpoint. And it comes back to our old friend, psychological safety. We worry, what will happen to me? If I say no to this person, will they harm my career? Will they stop me enjoying myself? Will they be mean to me? So I think it's a very human question to ask. And I'm sure you've seen it a lot around the block where you are.
Yes. And I feel, Olivia, the biggest challenge which I have been seeing, that this is where the litmus test of you being a leader comes out. Because you are not saying no doesn't only impact you in terms of taking more than you can deliver, but you also put an equal amount of stress, anxiety, and discomfort with your teams. Because firstly, they feel lack of psychological safety. Secondly, they feel confused with frequently changing timelines, changing priorities, changing actions. So I think as a leader, it's not about you to think of pleasing your bosses every time, or for you having that fear of missing out, FOMO, on important actions, but also to think about your team as to how they will react to your saying yes to everything. I think
right. So. Yeah, but how they react to you. But also we know that people don't learn from what we say. They learn from what we do. So you are modeling the behavior of dancing around to your boss's tune. So what your team is doing is watching you going, oh, so that's how I should behave. So it's a dangerous line to draw as a leader. And I think the thing that we need to also remember is being a leader is about being brave. It really has to be. You got to take the tough decisions. You got to take the hard line. Sometimes you've got to do things you don't want to do. And that includes saying no. And there's lots of things that, you might be asked to do that you feel like you need to say no to. So whether it's taking on an unreasonable deadline, undertaking some activity that goes kind of against your values, or maybe dealing with someone who is putting undue pressure on you for something that you don't think is your job to do. And with all of those, I think as a leader, it goes back to really understanding ourselves. So what motivates us? What are our values? What's important to us? And holding on to those. And one of the things, it's from an old advertising campaign in the States from a long time ago called Dr. Pepper, the soda drink. And their advertising campaign was, what's the worst thing that can happen? Now, as a coach, I tend to reframe it as what's the best thing that can happen? So sometimes when you're faced with that, I just really feel like I should take this action. Taking a little time to reflect, well, what can they actually do? What could happen to me? What could the consequences be? and really weighing it up. Sometimes you think this could go badly for me, but for the person I am and the values that I hold, it's still the right thing to do. Not saying it's easy, but I think that that is a process that as leaders we need to go through.
Absolutely. And I think it's not only about being brave, but also about building brave spaces. As a leader, they should be willing to say no. And I don't think that there needs to be a fear of missing out, fear of losing of job, fear of losing on your elevations, increments, because I don't think that you will be tested for situations where you have said no, but you will be definitely tested for situations where you have delivered and you have created a mark for yourself as a leader. And like you said about your famous advertisement, there is an advertisement in India as well, which I very popularly promote and which says that Darr ke aage jeet hai. There is a victory beyond fear. So I think as a leaders, we should look for that victory beyond fear rather than having that fear and getting ourselves to lose along with our teams. So thank you very much, Olivia. And I think the viewers will be definitely benefited out of this insight. For more detailed insight, do grab a copy of Boss versus Coach and see how can it transform your journey. If you have any questions or you want to participate in any of the podcasts, please do visit www.bossversuscoach.com or reach out to me or Olivia and let us know how we can help you out. On that note, have a great day. Goodbye.
Cheers. Bye bye.